Alright, so the question has been presented. Well, don't defissure and macrocosmos interfere with the ability of the deck as a whole to function? I mean, you can't drop command, you can't use Recruiter's effect, Disciple won't work, and doesn't it make Stele and Rite of Spirit dead? Well, theoretically it should, but, okay, well, just a note for anyone who remembers back, when I was playing Macro Dino Keepers, that deck was ridiculous, and that was just for fun. This one's actually built because meta. Um, that one was just for fun, but if that worked, well, this is less extreme than that, so shouldn't this work? So obviously, my answer to doesn't that interfere with your deck? My answer is no, it doesn't. Now, I've got 3 replays I'm going to show you guys real quick just to show that. The first one I don't actually draw macro defissure, and I think that's an important thing to remember though, is that it is 2 cards out of a 43 card deck. So the chance of actually getting one of them is not spectacularly high. There are just 2 more cards that say, no graveyard for you, Necros, Burning Abyss, Stellanite, all these decks that just need the graveyard. Basically everything except like Cleese and things that don't matter like Roids. Yeah, so anyways, first up we got Stellanites. I did open with Royal Tribute though, so that's not particularly fair, but he did go first. So he is able to, of course, grab the Deneb, drop that, get the effect, search a Vega, not that I care about that, and he sets Bottomless. I'm not quite sure why he didn't set Pinpoint Guard yet. I mean, it's not like he's going to need to use it unless his Deneb gets blown up, but I would have said it, but that's just me. Not that it would have changed the outcome of the game in the slightest. But anyways, yeah, so, see, there we go, open with my macro value, and I roll a tribute. Another point about the macro and defissure is that they make Royal Tribute even more ridiculous, because it banishes all the monster set. And now here I flip Spy, and he responds, but it's fine, because I have that Recruiter that I got sent to the graveyard earlier. So, let's delay, put them both back, and I'll just reset the Spy. Now, if you see this card right here, Escape from the Dark Dimension, that's another point about the macro and defissure. If my monsters are banished, I can use this like a Call of the Haunted and just summon them. Obviously, it's something from banished, so unaffected by Necrovalley because it's irrelevant. So yeah, they really do actually kind of have synergy with the deck, especially because they do allow me to play Escape. I mean, yeah, I have a Lure of Darkness that can banish my monsters, but with these as well, it really justifies playing Escape. And the reason for Escape, obviously, you see just right there, he Bottomless Trap Hold my Spy, and, well, you'll see what I can do with it right now. Usually I'll use this for Xyz plays, but right here I just go for the 1700 more damage, and I don't overlay into anything, because there really wasn't anything to overlay into. I mean, yeah, I could have made Dweller, but he's playing Stellanites. So, why? They activate on the field. So, obviously negate, and he just has to scoot there. So, yeah, because he can't play. So, now we got hands, or hand singular. He only actually summons one hand this game, and it doesn't ever go off. Because I banned shit, because I opened with macro. Right here. Now, he doesn't summon the Fire Hand, and for those of you who don't understand why he didn't summon the Fire Hand, it's because I didn't control a monster. So, if I had countered the Fire Hand's summon, he wouldn't get to trigger, and he wouldn't get the Ice Hand. You'd think, well, he could get the 1600 damage, but that deck is about advantage, so that's why he didn't do that. So, that's why neither of us have actually summoned, or have done anything. So he hasn't summoned the Fire Hand, I just haven't gotten any monsters. So here I get the Disciple. And yes, I got Macro, but here is a good example of Macro-Disciple interaction of how the Disciple can hit the grave, then I activate Macro. Here he's got Ice Hand, which is like, cool. Yes, perfect. That gets over Disciple, I can get my Spy, and now I can Macro. I don't Macro immediately, obviously. I Macro when his monster would be sent to the graveyard. So Macro is used in response. Obviously, with D-Prison, you have a slightly different story, where you have to use the D-Prison when you get it. It's unfortunate. I much prefer the Macro just because you can use it responsively, and it hurts me less. And because I can use it to make my opponent minus, and not myself. But yeah, this is essentially the gold deck. I got 2 set Spies. They'll go off, and I can pretty much just kind of do my thing there. I see also a cool interaction with Spy and Mass Change second next turn. Spy, so I flip the Spy, and he's gonna flip a Breakthrough skill on it, but I use Mass Change second, discarding the Veiler. See right now, and the Spy does still go off because it's not on the field to be negated by Breakthrough. So yeah, that's just a cool interaction there. It's like I get the Dark Law, and I get the Spy Surge, and I get to waste one of his back row. And then, of course, with Descendant's effect, I can blow up his back row, and then flip Macro and go into the battle phase. Of course, he had response playing the deck he is, so he was able to respond to that. But my Recruiter goes off, so I can grab a Commandant, get Necrovalley, and proceed to Overkill. So, there we go. Using another one of his back row there, just a Mind Crush, which is pretty good against my deck, technically, but then I have Stele, so it's like, oh, you discarded my Necrovalley, cool, I'll just get Command back and get more. And that's why people might want to play Ambusher, I'm just saying. I'm not, because I am playing the macro road, and Ambusher has a lot of requirements, and how I feel about cards that require other things to happen. But, yeah, so here I just completely overkill. He has nothing he can actually do. So, he's just going to summon, and he was probably just kind of like set those and hope I would take the buffs, because that's kind of what he does anyway. But yeah, as you can see, there's nothing he can do, and I just go for game next turn. Since I do have exact game on board. Now we got the third game, which is against Darklaw deck. He is actually playing a build where he's, as you see here, he's gonna summon and then send to the graveyard his malicious. So yeah, he's playing a build where he's trying to go for Beals and Darklaw, and that's really just his deck. That's what he's doing. It's just Beals and Darklaw. That's what I'm gonna do. Obviously, it's a bad matchup for him, especially since I opened with the macro, which I actually should have activated sooner than I did. But whatever. So he drew Shadow Mist. He summons, and I should have chained macro to the mass change, but I didn't. So he gets his Dark Law and that search there, so he can get a Diamond Dude, but I don't care about that. So he lures, banishes the Diamond Dude, and so he is actually able to change the Dark Law to defense mode, but I flip macro anyway, so that Dark Law and his Armageddon Knight will get banished. As well as the Mass Change, but Mass Change actually getting banished is kind of an important thing. Not in this game in particular, but with Mass Change banished, he can't Mask Charge to get that back. I really hate Mass Charge. Oh my gosh, that card is so good. It's just so good. But anyways, yeah, again, with the overkill, he can't do anything about this. I mean, he breakthrough skills, but then he realizes he can't, that I can get over everything he has, he'll be top decking, and there's really nothing he can do to get out of this situation. like in the entire deck. I mean, he can draw Bubble Man, maybe, and then he'll be able to draw 2, but even still, he can't play his deck. I mean, all he can do is like Exceed and make Exciton Knight, but then I have Huge Rep, so there really wasn't anything in his entire deck he could do to get out of that. And that's what I'm saying, is this deck, it's just make your opponent go so minus that the small minuses I take to get there are worth it. I mean, I'm really not losing anything. As you can see, it's just, okay, whoa, I don't get my Recruiter effect or the float effect of Disciple, which I play one of. I'm only playing the one Descendant, I'm only playing 2 Recruiter, and I'm playing 3 Command It, obviously, so I can command it first, then defissure or macro. So, no, it's not really a problem. I mean, you'd think it would be, definitely. It definitely should be, but it's not. And that's interesting. So, yeah.